how much of the incentive of doing something like this is like, I'm going to score my own puppet at some point?
I said at the start of the process, can I have a puppet? And there was a resounding no that came back.
These are not cheap.
I said, I'd really love to be involved. Can I have a puppet? And they went, no. I was like, okay, I'll still do it. It was naive of me because they are works of art and they're very, very expensive to make. So it was my misplaced actor's vanity there. That, you don't walk onto a film set and go, can I keep one of the cameras?
Right.
Please? So I don't know what I was thinking.
Everybody at Comic-Con knows and loves Dark Crystal. You're in the right place, obviously. Are you sensing the love? Are you excited to kind of finally expose people to a little bit more footage from this? Give me a sense of sort of where your head's at right now as you sit here.
I think, as you say, it just feels like the perfect place, The Dark Crystal has a very, very loyal, devoted following. I am one of those fans, which is why I'm here. And it's exciting to be in a place where, the fans are of utmost importance, and the passion that people bring here for these properties is incredible. I came here for the first time when I was 25, so 4 or 5 years ago, and it does just feel like the perfect place, doesn't it, to have our first sort of footage screening.
I will say, I want to hear your perspective, of course, Louis, but you were -7 when this movie came out. I did the math. So
it's excellent mathematics.
Well, I'm pretty, English is not my strong suit, but math is pretty good.
So I don't think I was even a twinkle in my father's eye at that point.
So how were you exposed to it? Is it just something that, like...
My dad actually showed me it. My dad had a real thing for kind of great 80s movies. So at the same time that I was falling in love with Luke Skywalker, I was also who I'm seeing today. I was also being shown The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. Labyrinth is where I found my love for David Bowie, So I was a real I was a Henson kid.
Love it. Okay, so for you guys, I mean, I got the chance to see you guys at New York Comic Con when you first unveiled some stuff from this. There's something intangible about the magic of the Dark Crystal, about those puppets. Just give me a sense of sort of your approach to this and how much you wanted to kind of mimic as much as possible the original as opposed to going the CGI route. Why was that part and parcel of this?
I feel like that one's for you because you're such a huge puppetry fan.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. Well, but it starts in the family. That's why I was wondering if you want to. So yeah, I'm a huge puppet fan, but I'm a huge fan of Jim Henson. Jim Henson has touched me like he's touched so many people all around the world. I mean, obviously I'm French, and Terrence English, and we're just like Jim Henson was part of our life. He was our father. Just like your father, and just gave us so much love, so much emotion. The scope of his work is massive, and then the Dark Crystal was this one thing that was for us. Obviously I'm older than Taryn, but I saw it as a kid, and I was pretty freaked out by it.
It's a mind blower to any child when they first see it.
I don't know, exactly, and it shocked me, and for me. Now, when I grew up to be a director, that's one, these movies in the 80s, it feels like every weekend there was an important movie coming out in the 80s. And these movies had something in common, is that they were like, how did they do this kind of movies?
Yes.
Star Wars was one of them, but Dark Crystal was really this, because there was no human that you could see. Everything was real. It felt real. The world was big, was new, was different. 3 suns in the skies, 3 moons in the skies, and I was like, oh yeah. I did. How? And then when I became a director, and I was lucky to make big movies. Then they said, well, who do you want to meet in Hollywood? I said, well, I want to meet Lisa Henson. I want to meet Jim Henson's daughter, and I want to talk to her about the Dark Crystal.
Amazing. I want to talk to you guys about this amazing cast. Taryn is of course, one of many that are part of this, and it speaks to the love of this material. It might be the most eclectic, amazing cast I've seen associated with the project. Do you even know who all your co-stars are in this, Taryn?
I would occasionally get a text from Louis going, Simon Pegg signed on. And then there was one day he said, Mark Hamill signed on. It's amazing. Although in some respects, for me, not surprising. It was a no-brainer for me. And I think for anyone who had that experience of watching The Dark Crystal and being enchanted by it in a way that I've never really been enchanted by anything else is so unique. It's not surprising that such an incredible cast signed on to be involved.
for you, Lisa, is there anything from your dad's drawings, writings, etc., that you draw upon for this, or is it you go back to the original film as kind of like your bedrock?
We go back to the original film, but we also had Brian Froud, who is very much alive, very vibrant, active artist, and he and his whole family, Wendy Froud, his son Toby Froud, they all worked on the show, and so we had, you know, the direct input of the original designer of the show. And so because he personally designed every character, every costume, you know, it's all very consistent with the original movie, but it's largely maybe 75% new characters.
Right.
But they all feel consistent with the original characters. In some cases we were we are actually copying the original puppets, and that was kind of fun. It was our starting point as we copied puppets. The set builders copied the Crystal Chamber, and then we branched out into the new things that would, you know, build onto the things that we were just copying from the original. But even with the original Skeksis characters who were alive back in this prequel period, you know, we have all new voices for them. So even they are kind of reinvented, but not too differently. But they're the quality of the voices and the cast for those characters is outstanding.
I assume Rihanna's not a big singer in the Dark Crystal.
No, it's one of the few jobs where singing hasn't come. I sing! I do sing!
Are you crazy? There's so much
nice.
singing.
I sing in it!
Really?
I do sing. I've got to stop doing that.
Can you preview what can we expect? What's the ditty?
It's a funeral song, so it's a bit of a mood killer. So to be
I
honest,
think it's also in a made-up language.
yeah, I can't remember it. I do. Yeah,
It's not gonna be a
harmonizing
single-
with myself.
Harmonizing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he gets the girl.
No, I can't. I can't remember it. But I do sing it. I'm lying. I do sing it.
You're just getting typecast,
Really
man.
gotta I gotta stop.
truly.
I really
Everybody
gotta
sings.
stop.
There's Gelfling. They fly and
Yeah.
sing.
So do you
Every-
do? Forgive me, but like, do you cast the voice actors before you shot any of this, or is it?
No, but Taron was the exception. Taron was the first person we came to, and the immediate yes answer. It was incredible. We said, "What about Taron?" And at the end of Edgerton, he said yes. You know.
Yeah. It was.
I got the puppet right.
Yeah. Can I have a puppet?
Embarrassingly uncool about it. Yeah.
Gotta play it cooler, man.
No, it was
Come on.
incredible,
Yeah.
and you know, having him on board really defined our cast, defined the level, the quality of actors we wanted to get. That's sort of like.
Very
Next
flattering.
generation. No, but it's true with
Very
next
flattering.
generation. You know, and really, you helped us so much. And it was interesting because Taron being cast, he came on set, met his puppeteer. The puppeteer knew he was Taron, so was looking at Taron's movies and understanding how Taron. It's a very difficult. They have to work in symbiosis. The two performers, you know, Taron and his puppeteer Neil Sternberg.
So when you see your character in this, if you've seen clips or episodes, like, do you see yourself a little bit in a way?
It's interesting. I mean, it really is. I think the symbiotic nature of it is a lovely way of putting it, because Neil, who animates and brings the character to life, has his own rhythm. So what, you know, on other voice projects I've done, the character is animated to my syncopation, you know, whereas I have to match Neil's, and that's a lovely challenge. It adds a different dimension to things. But over time, you know, you do start to feel a sense of ownership, and it's a really lovely thing. Yeah.
Dogs look like their owners, puppets look like their actors.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna eventually look like this dude.
It does have.
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah,
With
the
a couple of
puppet has a sort of very boyish quality.
Pointy ears.
His beard game is about as strong as mine.
One of the rumors heading into Comic-Con this year was about you and Wolverine. Mark Millar, no less.
I think you need better beard game for Wolverine.
Come on, man. Don't sell yourself short. I think you got it. I mean, could you imagine yourself doing that? And would it be surreal knowing Hugh as well as you do to eventually play that character?
Look, there's no grounding for the rumor. I know that that's probably in the pipeline at some point at Marvel, but I'd imagine it's a little way off. If I was asked, it would be incredible. But I have to confess, sometimes I think maybe there's better candidates. Oh, actually, who knows? If it was in 5 years, maybe I'd be grizzly enough. But
The world will wear you down, and then you'll be ready to.
I'm a great admirer of those films, and it's very, very flattering to even be mentioned.